All right, today we're going to take a deep dive into Veracity's big three-pillar strategy. This is the roadmap for some serious growth. We're going to break down exactly how they plan to beef up their token, get it into more hands, and ultimately build a real advertising empire in the Web3 space.
So, right off the bat, this timeline lays out the whole game plan. Veracity's got these three core pillars, and they're rolling them out over the next year or so. You can see things get really interesting in Q3 of 2025. That's when we get two huge moves at once, a total tokenomics overhaul and BEP20 support. And then as we head into 2026, it's all about their endgame, a massive ad tech expansion. So what does all this actually mean? Let's get into it.
Okay, first up, Pillar 1, strengthening the token. This is all about fortifying the very foundation of the project, and it all starts with a major overhaul of its tokenomics.
So what's actually happening here? Well, Veracity says they're in the final stretch of a huge update to their whole economic model. And the goal is pretty straightforward. They want to align incentives for everyone, take some of that supply pressure off the market, and really boost the token's long-term value. You know, they're looking at things like token burns to create more scarcity, and they're trying to bake in more real-world utility. These are kind of the classic moves you make when you want to build a really solid, robust token. Now, this whole tokenomics update, it's a classic double-edged sword. There's a huge opportunity here, but also some serious risk. On the upside, look, if they nail this, reducing that sell pressure and making the token scarcer could send its value way up. But, and this is a big but, the risk is all in the execution. If there are any delays, or if things get messy with migrating their core tech, like their proof-of-view system, that could spook the market and create a ton of uncertainty. It's a really high-stakes play for sure. All right, let's move on to the second pillar, expanding the ecosystem. Now, we'll see how this builds on the first one. This is all about throwing the gates wide open and making Veracity accessible to a much, much bigger crowd. And the key? BEP20 support. So what does this actually look like? Well, Veracity is integrating the BET20 version of their VRA token right into the Vera wallet. And for you, the average user, why should you care? Simple. It means way cheaper transactions and the ability to stake your tokens if you're part of the BNB smart chain. And this is a huge deal because, let's be honest, the BNB ecosystem is absolutely massive. We're talking about a giant, super active user base. And here we go again. It's that same story. Massive upside, but success is absolutely not guaranteed. I mean, opening the door to potentially millions of new users, that could be a complete game changer for liquidity. But here's the thing. It's one thing to build the bridge. It's another thing entirely to get people to actually walk across it. So that means the tech side has to be flawless, completely seamless, and their marketing has to be on point to really pull in that new wave of users. Okay, now for Pillar 3, and this is the big one. Arguably the most ambitious part of their whole plan, the ad tech endgame. This is where Veracity wants to go beyond just fixing the token and making it accessible. This is about generating real-world revenue by monetizing Web3 gaming and video. So the engine driving this whole pillar is a service they call Vera Ads, and the concept is actually pretty cool. They want to connect Web3 publishers, so think of your favorite blockchain games or decentralized video platforms, with that sweet programmatic ad revenue. In simple terms, they're building the pipes, the infrastructure to run modern ads in the decentralized world. And let me tell you, that is a massive, pretty much untapped market right now. And if you want to get a sense of just how big they're thinking, just look at this number. 7 million. That's the potential user base they could tap into from just one partnership, a single one, with the Carbon browser. It just goes to show you they are not playing small here. And you better believe Carbon is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to their partnership strategy. Yeah, on top of that, they're plugging into NeoTokyo's huge crypto gaming ecosystem. And they've even gotten some serious regulatory street cred by launching the very first blockchain ad exchange in the UAE. So, look, these aren't just a bunch of logos slapped on a slide. No way. These are the actual building blocks for the ad tech empire they're trying to create. So, here's the bottom line. The potential here is absolutely massive, but you have to understand, the risk is just as real. The upside is, well, it's enormous. If they can pull this off, if they can get real commercial adoption and turn these big name partnerships into actual revenue streams, the growth could be nothing short of explosive. But, and you knew there was a but coming, the ad tech space is a shark tank. It's fiercely competitive, and their success is literally tied to the timelines and the technical skills of other companies. At the end of the day, it all comes down to execution. All right, let's take a step back for a second. We've talked about these three different pillars, right? So the final question is, how do they all fit together?
How do they form one single, cohesive strategy for Veracity's future? When you lay it all out like this, the strategy actually becomes crystal clear. Step 1, strengthen the core token, make it rock solid. Step 2, bring in more people, broaden the user base by going cross-chain. And Step 3, monetize that growing community with their ad technology. It's a really logical step-by-step progression. A better token, more users, and then a clear plan to make money from it all. And all of this brings us to the final and most critical question of all. Look, the tokenomics fix and the BEP20 integration, those are crucial, they're the foundation. But Veracity's real long-term success, it all boils down to this one thing. Can Vera Ads actually carve out a meaningful slice of the Web3 advertising pie? Or are we going to see the old guard, the legacy platforms, swoop in, adapt, and just dominate this new frontier too? Honestly, that's the billion-dollar question, and the answer is what will ultimately define their entire future.